Yo, so here's a funny story. I actually already recorded this fucking video, but of course I look like the creature from the Black Lagoon with a voice that will make glass within a 10-mile radius shatter. So yeah, that fucking footage and audio shat itself and yeeted its way into the bin. Long story short is, I was tired, I was bored, and we're all stuck indoors. When originally prepping to record this video, the intent was to batch record multiple videos on some of the comics you're about to see, but as always, I was exhausted. So instead I sat down for a well over an hour recording a single reading list. But instead, so here I am, spending more time than was originally intended on a single throwaway video by re-recording this shit, gathering and cropping images, putting that shit on a fucking timeline, piecing it together so that shit flows into one another, and upload it to the interwebs, walk away, and never look back like some fucking cuck. Where was I going with this again? Oh, right, comics, reading, quarantine. I don't fucking know what to call this bullshit. All I know is that you guys like this video, especially Pew's book subreddit. Jesus Christ, that video did really well because of those guys. Thank you, fellow 9-year-olds. And I really like making videos like these, so here's another kind of impromptu one until the next great manga/webcomic videos are finished. I have 5 comics picked out at random for your pleasure. Something older that I want to talk about in their own video, something new that recently released, and something I recently revisited after quite some time away. So grab some tea or don't, just walk away and never return. Trust me, that's the best thing you can do right now in regards to me. And here are some comics and my dog's tail wagging. Jewel, please. Yosabato is a manga I should not like, and I fucking hate children. I'll often avoid media or have certain work fall down on my rating scale because of their child characters. However, there are times where kids aren't that bad. Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, Ren from Usagi Drop, Kana from Dragon Maid. For one reason or another, I really like these kids. However, Yosaba is a special case because I do not know why I enjoy this little girl. Yosaba is at the peak annoyance age of 5 years old. Well, no, if you're a child any age, it's fucking annoying. The adopted daughter of a single work-from-home father, she's an energetic child who we watch explore the world. Her story runs from the wonderful genre of manga about nothing, also known as slice of life, spanning 15 volumes and currently ongoing. We begin Yosaba's story in the middle of summer, and if you catch up with the release volumes as I have, it's not even Christmas. That's right, y'all, this manga has been publishing since 2003 and only a few months has passed. Yosabato hails from the mind of Kiyohiko Azuma, probably best known for his previous work Azumanga Dao. Yosaba actually made her first appearance in a one-shot webcomic Try before making her 2003 debut. Okay, so I really fucking like this manga. I went in extremely skeptical for obvious reasons, but heard good things throughout the years and wanted to try it. The last thing I was expecting was to check out and complete all of the available manga volumes from my library in less than a month. And I don't know why I like this so damn much. Yosaba leads an eventful life. We watch her go to the farm, see hot air balloons for the first time, then goes on an adventure to buy her first bike. Then she'll meet aliens in Harajuku. Next door there's a family of 5 and she calls the mother of the family mom because she's never had a mother. And then she gets a bear and it's her first teddy bear ever, and she loves this bear and carries it in a little purse. Then the bear fucking dies and needs repairs and she gets so depressed. It is one of the best moments of the manga. I do not know why I'm laughing. But my favorite part of the manga is when Yosaba's grandmother comes to visit. If you know me, you would know that my grandmother is one of the most important people in my life. I've always had my grandmother by my side since childhood, and she continues to love and care for me in my adulthood. I don't know what it's like to have a grandparent live far away from you, only able to see them maybe once or twice every year. This was the sweetest arc of the comic to me. Yosaba is surrounded by amazing, defined, kind characters who love her, like her father Kowai, Jumbo, her aunt Beard Man from the bike shop, and the Ase family. But watching the time she spends with her grandmother just connected to me in a deep and personal way. It was the moment I realized how much I truly enjoyed this manga. I'm well aware I'm late to the party and avid manga readers have already long since enjoyed this manga, but if you want a simple read with charming characters and an easy pace to settle into, Yosabato might just be it. If I hadn't read To Your Eternity last year, Jahy-sama would have been my comic of the year. By the way, I know that people pronounce her way in a lot of different ways, but I say Jahy because it rolls off the tongue better for me, so I'm sorry for the cringe. You've probably seen memes of this smug lolly floating around on the internet wondering who the hell she is and where she came from, as I once had. Well, buddy, now you know and you're in luck. Jahy is about a title character who was once the number 2 demon in the demon realm. She had all the perks that came with the position: loved, feared, beautiful, and the power to command those beneath her. Then one day a magical girl appears, destroys the crystal that was the source of her power, the demon lord, in her home, effectively destroying the demon realm and casting Jahy out. Next thing she knows, she's in a river in a human world and has the body of a child. Now broke as shit, Jahy uses what little power she has left to work part-time as a waitress while spending her free time hunting for the scattered pieces of the gem to return home. Jahy must battle rent, labor, capitalism, human misunderstanding, and her own pride in order to restore the crystal, find the demon lord, and go back to her old life. I love this comic. It's funny as shit while also making me choke up a few times. Jahy is what draws you into the story. If she wasn't a good character, this manga would have been hot trash. I don't know how the author did it, but this smug face is just so damn adorable and lovable and not annoying. Speaking of which, look at my daughter, now look at my waifu. Look at my daughter, now look at my waifu. This is my daughter, and this is my goddamn waifu. Originally, when I had planned a video on Jahy, it was to be on one single character. This bitch right here, Magical Girl, who I originally despised. I'm now extremely grateful for my slow workflow, as while the comic continued, Magical Girl's character developed and she's better now. But originally, Magical Girl was a character that I adored because of how much I despised her. In my opinion, it's not often you meet a character that you love to hate. When the comic begins, it's your typical good versus evil story. We expect for the hero, Magical Girl, to destroy the demon realm, just as we expect for Jahy to be in the role of villain. However, this is Jahy's story, and we never once see her as the villain. We see her as a struggling individual inflicted with a deep homesickness. A person who combats keeping up her powerful persona as the harshness of everyday human life weighs down on her. This is a person who finds conflict not only in accepting failure, but also seeing how much better off those around her are doing. She can't accept help to fix her mistakes she also cannot accept because she doesn't make any. Jahy can't even accept the fact that she falls ill at one point, but whether she likes it or not, she's surrounded by kind people who are willing to take care of her no matter how poorly she treats them. The humanization of Jahy's character is what makes this comic so good to me. Even though when she cries, I also want to cry because god damn it, I can't stand to see such a beautiful woman in pain. It's the payoff from these hardships and what she gains from them that makes this story so delightful and wholesome to me. And then Magical Girl comes back. I was infuriated reading this chapter. Up until this point, Jahy had no villain other than herself and conflict of the world. Enter Magical Girl, who upon return commits a crime. My moral compass was blaring because after everything I witnessed, every time I felt sadness and delight, everything Jahy has gone through, Magical Girl shows up out of nowhere and threatens her. And what made my blood boil all the more is how she thought she was in the right. This is Karen levels of bullshit, and though her visit concluded in an amusing way, I was seething. From then on, I absolutely hated Magical Girl, and I loved it. I loved how much I wanted to take justice into my own hands against her. Every time I saw her, I wanted to clobber her, but also how when getting to know her a bit more, it's clear something was not right with this girl, but that something still doesn't excuse what she did to a character I came to adore over the short amount of time I spent with her. That's the most spoiler-free way I can describe my thoughts on Magical Girl, and I've been covering Jahy for way too long. God, this thing is gonna be a bitch to edit. So yeah, Jahy is really great. It's getting a Western release, so you know I'm going to be putting it on my shelf. If you like what you see, then definitely give it a shot because the memes are good as hell, and I don't think you'll regret it because of that. Before I discuss the next comic, I have to start with a meme.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Longtime viewers of this channel probably remember me discussing a horror webcomic titled Melvina's Therapy. It's one of the first comics I've made a video on this channel, the most revisited comic so far, and received a perfect 10 out of 10 score for how much it connected with me. It's the comic that got me into horror webcomics, as without it, I would have never touched comics that I now love like Brood Hollow, Sweet Home, Chiller, and Bastard. The creator of Melvina's Therapy, A. Rosin, is back with his newest project, Grimoire Land. This is a thriller comic that follows a group of 6 friends. One of them is an Instagram influencer who was invited to a theme park for his promotion and brought her friends along. Of course, death looms overhead, and when the group realizes this, they find they're trapped within the park and cannot escape until completing all of the rides. Now, I loved Melvina's Therapy for reasons far different than Grimoire Land. It was a psychological horror with characters I genuinely cared for, who unfortunately carried some brutal weight trapped within the clutches of a manipulative therapist. I can vividly recall the stories Melvina told, the hapless characters who suffered throughout the series, and the amazing artwork and body horror that kept me up at night knowing damn well my dumbass shouldn't be reading this fucking comic in the middle of the fucking night. But fuck it, there was a new update and I needed to see my fucking ship make it out alive. But Grimoire Land is honestly kinda hilarious to me. Please understand that's not to say the comic is bad or to downplay its strengths. The comic is very good and entertaining. So far, I would say its weakest aspects are the characters, but that will change as the comic is still fresh with only 12 chapters and the development already underway. I just have a very dark sense of humor. Of course, the cases of violence and death is nothing to laugh at, but guys, it's a comic about a group of teens being hunted down until people die when they are dead. Shit's hilarious to me. Don't believe me? Watch me talk about Stephen King's Cujo in this video. Ignoring the funnies and characters, the comic is engaging. Much like Melvina, I want to know what happens next, and there are twists and turns that come out of left field as well. I admit there are some predictable bits, like there being murderous mascots, but I didn't see the shit that happened in the first ride coming, nor the lengths Jeff will go to maintain quiet in the Museum of the Sleepers. To me, it's fun as hell seeing these characters scared shitless turn against another and being picked off one by one. I know for others this might not be the case, but me being me, it's so much fun laughing in the face of death rather than cowering away from it like I did while reading Melvina. If you like projects like Your Next, Friday the 13th, or Cabin in the Woods, then definitely give this a shot. It's new, short, and will take you about half an hour or less to read the entirety of. I'm gonna be keeping up with this. It's good shit. Thumbs up. Okay, so time for that older comic I've recently been catching up on and enjoying. Let me be clear, I didn't pull out this comic because I was bored by it or some other negative connotation. I'm just really fucking bad at reading comics. So Calif Adventures is a comic that I proudly wear the badge of Webtoons Discovery Squad with. It's a cute slice of life comic about a cat who's a loaf and he sits. Our energetic main character is accompanied by the stale Rye Loaf and small shy Tabs. Cat Loaf is always looking for fun, adventure, and friends, and we follow him as he discovers such. I admittedly don't have much to say about Cat Loaf other than you get what you came for. If you like a giggly, cute, family-friendly, low-key comic, then this is it. Not everyone will enjoy it as much as others. For me, Cat Loaf is about a 6.5 out of 10, but it's cute as shit and I like it. I like animals, I like bread, I like food and bakeries. This comic is my jam. It's perfect to read in short bursts during quiet moments throughout the day. The only thing that comes to mind about Cat Loaf is how much the comic has changed since it was in Discovery. If interested, you can no longer read the original Cat Loaf without external help. I like the new version of Cat Loaf much better because it's more plot driven. I remember voting for some of these characters to join the series and their arcs. The new version handles itself much better because when it comes to characters and pacing, the creator had more time to work and think about these arcs instead of seemingly write the story along when posting the comic. So yeah, Cat Loaf is chill as hell. I don't have much to say about it as the others, but there isn't much to say about this comic but the basics. I think that testifies to how simple and chill this comic is. So my final comic was originally going to be Marie Kondo's life-changing manga of Tidying Up, as I had checked out both this and the novel from the library before this happened, but I'm going to shelve Kondo for another day and talk about a comic that I've only just started reading, and it's once again about cats and cafes. Cat Cafe is another comic that yields from the same literary vein as Cat Loaf. Cute, fun, short, bite-sized stories about nothing but the attendant. It's what the title says it is. It's about a cat who runs the cafe and is chill. This is a coma or comic strip comics for the non-weaves out there, with little stories and jokes told in short bursts. I just started reading the comic and so far the characters aren't very fleshed out in 3D, but in comics like these, that's fine every once in a while. Cat runs a cafe because he wants to make people happy. Penguin is a coffee-crazed writer, and Rabbit was the bait that hooked me into this comic. He was a homeless bunny out in the cold, and Cat saw him freezing and gave him a job. I knew I had to keep reading then. I'm a sucker for acts of kindness. But there's other characters that exist like Fox and Snake, who I have yet to learn more about. Besides the three mentioned, the only supporting character I remember having a personality was Axel. Cat Cafe is another comic I can't say much about because it's so simple. But again, if you like cute, chill shit like this between your Gamori lands and Ava's demons, this is one of many works I recommend to just chill with. Alright, that's it. I have other projects to work on. I think there was supposed to be something else to make, but I can't remember what it was. You'll probably come to me later. Alright, peace.